Welcome back, everybody. Well, here is the start of the feeder truck video. As you could see, probably in the, who knows how this is gonna go down. I've been keeping it a secret for probably 10 months, but we are gonna head over into Wisconsin and meet with Chris from Maxville Trucking in Britton, Wisconsin. And that's what's happening on Ranching Sodak. Morning, folks. We stayed the night at Ross and Janelle's, so we're just a little bit west of the cities. We're gonna make the last little trip, a couple hours over to Durant. See you there. Well, you can't go to Wisconsin without, but we were actually driving right through Ellsworth to get to where we're going. So we're pulling into the creamery. We're gonna go in and get some fresh curds if we can find our way in. What did you say the amount of cheese was a day?
180,000 pounds of cheese curds.
A day?
Every single day.
We'll get that. We'll fact check that when we get in. I need to get a hat because I left my hat at Ross and Janelle's. So get over here by the sign and I'll take your...
Everybody, I love cheese curds.
Oh, that...
And this guy.
All right, let's head in. So here's like what Blaha has always given us. Mark gives us these bags and Mater when they come out or when we hook up. So we're gonna grab ourselves a few bags of these and got myself a hat since I left mine at Ross and Janelle's. And $100 worth of cheese curds for Sassy Pants. Hopefully it can keep her.
You are the cheese curd piglet.
We have arrived. Your destination is on the right. And I spotted the trucks. Let's go take a look at her. He's definitely got some stuff here. This is the real deal. There must be 100 trucks around here. So here they are. So, let you in on what's going down. Is we bought these cement trucks. These are 6x6 cement trucks that we are gonna take off the, well, not we, Chris is gonna take off all the cement jazz and we're gonna put a Val metal mixer wagon right here in the middle of this bad boy. These things came 1,000 miles away. He drove them here from Maryland. We bought them on an auction and drove them home from Maryland. So Chris is gonna strip it, paint it, and he's gonna install the wagon, and I'm gonna let him tell you about some of the cool stuff he's gonna do by putting the wagon on there. But these things look really nice. They got big super singles grippers on them. They got aluminum wheels. I'm gonna get them polished. Yeah, I'm super excited. Super excited. This is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be one of a kind. I don't think there's anything, if anybody's ever done one of these to a cement truck, share the link with me because I have never seen anyone put a feeder wagon on one of these cement trucks. So let's go see if Chris is around and then come back and take a look at him. Well, we made her up to the office here. There she be. It's Maxville. This must be a little town called Maxville because there was a sign on the road, like what would say a town sign, but it said unincorporated. Maybe it's a village. We'll ask him. Truck and repair owner operator Chris. Chris around yet?
I just let him know that you were here, and then I'm just gonna give Ted a call too.
So we're in the shop here now, and this is Ted. He's the shop manager, foreman, whatever you want to call it. The guy that's in trouble when things don't go right, I think is right, usually what that title means. Yeah. He's gonna tour us around a little bit, and then Chris will be here after a second. So what do you guys do mainly, or is there no real main?
Pretty much everything you can imagine. That's why we're always busy.
Yeah.
This is one of our own manure trucks here.
So like pumping lagoons and pits and that's still going on over here with dairies and.
Yep, lots of dairies.
And yeah,
big dairies.
Right, right. That's what the Ellsworth hat is too. You know, I said I left my hat at the.
We talked about cheese curds.
I left my hat at her sister's last night, and I had to buy a hat. So how big is this building?
I believe it's 323 long.
Wow, 323 feet long.
This used to be a chicken barn.
Oh.
Years and years ago, it was an egg hatchery, or eggs, not egg hatchery.
But that was where the laying hens that produced the eggs were here.
Yeah, and then they all went in that room with the offices, and that's where they boxed them up.
Huh. How many guys are working here now? When you can get them to show up?
9. 9 in the shop.
Yeah.
The drivers.
Right.
We got 8 straight trucks, not sure how many semis. hauling manure.
Because that's the business that he operates as a custom deal.
Correct, yep.
Oh yeah, here's a Valmetal. This must be for a, what is this?
For a sand separator. This is a high pressure pump.
Oh. So Valmetal is the wagon we're going to use is Valmetal, which is obviously they have all kinds of things. I knew they were into the, this is a sand separator?
Yep, this
so
is the pump yep.
Yeah, so
For a dairy then?
all tied in with dairy stuff. I think that's how Valmetal kind of got their start, was with dairy stuff. Silos, and then I guess sand separators. Wow. I know, when I talked to him on the phone, his mind is...
Yes, and you had to walk about this fast to keep up. Couldn't ask for a better guy to work.
You gotta have a little bit of everybody though to make it.
So then, like, this is a dump truck, or I mean a garbage truck. Are you fixing this for someone?
Fixing this, the fenders were all rusted out.
Ah.
Putting brand new fenders on it, which we made some of it off the class table, you know.
Yeah.
And this is going to go on a brand new 25 Western Star garbage.
Oh, wow. Then what city will that go to? This one?
Right
or?
down the road.
Oh, not too far.
City,
Sterling, I got a Sterling truck like this, but I got a cat motor in mine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Mine's a bit, well, you saw it on the video, that hay trailer one that I made in too, yeah. I like them Caterpillars, they're good engines.
Yeah, they are. This is a manure pump. This is what does the drag line. You know, pump every mile you gotta have one of these for drag line.
So this is a mobile one then, essentially, instead of pulling it on a trailer and running it off a tractor or another gent.
Yep.
So you use this as your power unit and your transport.
We only have probably a quarter of the money in this.
Right.
So it's all here, baby.
Right. So then they have their own software, or you guys you got someone that does the actual software work too.
Yep. Shows you everything, all your pressures, everything you need to know. And it's also on.
So here's a giant one that they built for a dairy. This would be a big twin screw. They're 1100, so that's going to be a little even twice as big as ours. Ours is a 485, which I had the extensions on Valmetal make me some 8 or 9 inch extensions, so I'm going to be closer to like a 505 cubic feet. But this works great for cement on dairies, which a lot of dairies are all cement. So this would be typically what you'd think of as a feed truck, but with our deal with that cement truck, it's going to be a little more off-road, I think. I mean, I know it is, but this is quite a beast here. And I don't know, you couldn't drive this thing off of concrete when in the springtime when this thing is full. I mean, this thing probably holds 25,000 pounds of feed, and the truck probably weighs 30,000, you know. So they do everything here, and they have the top guys on every piece of the thing. They got the software guys, they got the hydraulic guys, they got the machine guys. This is quite the setup. So we're gonna visit with Chris here in a little bit, and then we'll go look at them trucks a little closer. Multiple mobile units for around here. This pumping business is big business to keep that going for these lagoons and the dairies and these drag lines. And this is kind of like my dream when you need a part, you know, because he's got about, I would guess there's close to 40 acres here of trucks and stuff. So now there's a new building. I'm gonna find out what that's all about. This is the new building here. What's this gonna be?
That's gonna be cold storage.
Oh, just
for as we pull engines and transmissions, it'll all go.
Stuff that doesn't need to be sitting outside.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's a big hopper for the sand blaster. And they got a new big shed going up for cold storage. Here is all the could be stuff right out here. The magic. You got to have a good memory when you go out there and get what you need.
This is the guy right here. Here is the memory.
Yeah. His whiskers are getting gray like mine though, so I think he's probably got to sit there and kind of get the belt warmed up to find that one piece like I do. Paint booth. This looks like a newer building obviously than that other one he said was a chicken barn, which kind of wild to repurpose that. But so she's big enough to get well, I suppose they got to have a prep area. I'm not a painter, but I would guess there's a prep area and then a paint area.
Is that the close it down paint area then?
Yeah. Yeah.
So are they getting ready to paint something
That
right
one
now?
looks like it's-
Or they just did?
Painted that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, for you guys, or will they custom a paint? They will. So if a farmer comes in and bought a truck, I want to paint it.
Yep.
These guys will do it if they got time. I probably sandblast the cement off. So we want to get it all gently sandblasted the best we can. If the paint's stuck, there's no reason to take it off. Right?
No.
You know, same with the concrete.
Yeah, if it don't
Just
come
paint
off
over it. I mean, but I want to.
Yeah,
concrete.
right.
That's what
I'd
Chris
rather
said.
chip it off.
Yeah.
At least chip it off.
Well, that'll be up to you guys, but yeah, let's look at the paint colors and see what we come up with. I want it to be unique, you know, because it's a unique truck. See, like them old Chevy or them old pickups, you know, like the old pickups had that color, did it? And
He likes that old kind of.
that's an aqua, probably. So we got Chris here now. He was busy with a meeting, but he's going to show us around. We're going to go look at the trucks and give you a little more history on what's going on here at Maxville Truck and Repair. So this was built in 2014, the paint deal?
Yes. And reason I built the paint booth is because I was building farm trucks for customers, and it was a real pain for me to get painting done. We'd have to hire a sandblaster to come in, then take the trucks to another location to get them painted.
Right.
And decision was made to put a paint booth in.
And get a painter. I mean,
get a painter.
that's
And
the easiest way to solve your problems when you're
Absolutely.
short. And you got a party bus. Ted was letting the cat out of the bag. He just bought a party bus too, so who knows, it'll be Chris's party and weekend catering services.
Right. RV conversion maybe, so we can drive around and
I think that's way.
do a little drinking maybe. Not the driver, of course.
Do the tiny house on wheels idea.
But you can see, you know, you see all your dents and rough.
yes,
It's just,
absolutely.
It's going to hold the paint extremely good.
And this almost feels like a powder coating, as thick and as sticky as this is, but it's just paint.
That's just paint.
One coat, two coats?
No, there's
many coats?
There's a epoxy primer that's the base coat.
That's
and
the
then
trick.
we do the finish color on top of it.
Gotcha. Yep. So the truck is going to be with a kind of a epoxy, or what kind of paint would you call it? You called it a...
It's a polyurethane top coat.
Okay. But it's a heavy duty paint, so it's not your normal truck paint. Say this again.
This is a rapid dump ditch hopper. It's the best thing I can call it. Pull up to a ditch, have a tractor hook to it. This arm comes down. We pull up to it with rapid dump semi-tankers, and it takes a minute to unload a semi-tanker into here, and this pumps it into our drag line, and then we hose from there to the field.
So this would be used if you're too far from the lagoon?
That is correct. They can't hose it, but we still got a truck.
So you got a field that's 15 miles away from the lagoon?
Yes.
And you want the manure on that field, so you have this thing, the rapid dump, so the semi-tanker brings the liquid, dumps it in here, and then you pump it to the drag line.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So it allows us to more efficiently put the manure where it needs to be.
Where you want it. Yeah. Looks like quite a beast. And that'll hold 5,000 gallons or whatever they call it?
I think if it's mounted correctly, it's like a 10,000 gallon storage capacity.
Oh, wow.
I don't have any tankers all my tankers are rented out right now. Well, I have one that you can see the back of that we do our own design of rapid dumping with. And we welded a box in the back end. We put two 12-inch knife gate valves. This arm flips up and holds whatever drippage is left in here.
Oh, this kind of pinches this.
Yeah, it just flips up and just
kind of holds that.
Retains that little bit that's in the bottom.
Gotcha.
Kind of a strange setup I did. Actually, a solar-powered battery.
So you got a 12 volt or
guy's got a remote control. He hits the remote control and just opens that gate up and down.
Yeah. That's what I was telling Ted. I need this kind of deal of a valve and the remote for my alleyway.
Yeah.
At my back door, I want to have an orbit motor that runs a wheel that just pushes this door back and forth.
Okay.
And I want it to have a remote and this valve deal, so she can be on her horse and open and close that little back
Easy
gate.
to do.
Yeah. You wish you had 10, or you wish you didn't have any here when we get done. Caterpillar engines.
They're all rated the same horsepower. This C13, which is 13 liter versus a 10 liter, didn't drive or have any more power than that C10 did.
No.
Yeah, what you're using it for, it's
we got all kinds of
plenty of power. Now, the only other thing I would maybe consider looking at is full locking differentials, and I don't know
if they all had that.
I can see it on this one. The air hose is not hooked up on that front axle, so I know this one's got it there.
And that meant I could not
you lock your back for it. I don't think they have it on the front at all.
But you think it's capable to lock all 6 of them and make it full locker?
Yeah, this one's got capability for it. So what I'm looking at under here is that guy right there, that little can. There's no hose hooked to it.
Okay.
I hook a hose to it. I make it work. It's got full locking. So it's like it's a diff lock is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a side-by-side locker.
It doesn't matter to us, I guess. You have to look through them and decide which one's gonna make the best application for us. So
everything from this point, this bracket will come off. Obviously the tank comes off. All of this stuff, all the way up to the cab, will get removed.
right.
Okay, and then we got this bracket here. We'll remove this bracket, so you're gonna have a free open cab here.
Right. And no bumper really on the front. Did any have a bumper?
No, but we could construct, these guys do, but we could, you know.
You could fab one.
We could fab
I guess
whatever you
this one
want
got
on
ripped
there.
off maybe, or a
Sure.
half thing. Yeah. That's easy enough to make a grill guard looking thing or a,
Yep.
yeah, and that doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to be utilitarian. The pumps, like their pump is right on the motor, right? Or where's the transmission on these things?
Okay, so the transmission's right here. So they sit in here backwards.
Right.
Motor and trannies, it's conventional motor and trannies, put them in backwards. Where they make their change is their transfer case, instead of having 3 shafts, has only got 2. So all the axles are the right rotational direction, it's just the transfer. So transfer case gives you your high and low range. So you have a low range where you can just crawl.
Yeah.
You got all 5 or 6 of your gears yet.
No, this will stay. All this
Transmission
right
stays,
here is
all
where,
this stuff
Right.
stays.
basically from here.
From that point forward gets, you know, some of the stuff like this is an air dryer. We'll have to,
There'll be things that have to be.
there's stuff that we'll have to remount.
Yeah, but we got plenty of room though too, don't we? I mean, what did I say? 12
More than
foot?
enough space.
We have
Yeah.
plenty of space, and we want that thing up anyways.
Things for us to consider is we got the drive shaft coming off that transmission. So you see how that's kind of above the frame.
Angle, right.
Probably till about
Right in there.
this point right here. Well, you're going to have brackets underneath that mixer. It's still
Straddle.
gonna
You're
hold-
gonna
we can
straddle it.
or do whatever we have.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it going to have a front discharge chain? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 foot sticking out, and it's on the left-hand side, to the driver's side. I'll be able to
Yep.
look out my window, and it should be right out my side there.
Yeah,
And it's going to be high. Now that I look at this, what I should have done is this thing could have just came out flat. He's got me one that even elevates, you know, and I'm going to end up running that thing flat, except when I go down the road, I could raise it up and have it out of the way.
What's your bunk or your...
This would be plenty high for any kind of bunks you would be
Gotcha.
using.
between the speed sensors and your desire for speed based upon communication between the engine and the transmission, that shift computer knows how to shift this thing.
Ah.
So they're, like I said, they're easy to troubleshoot. You can press 2 buttons in there and let off on it, and it'll read out codes, and you just go. It's fancy enough to the point where if you light throttle it, it's going to shift through its gears quicker. If you floor it, it'll downshift,
work.
and
It'll
then
work
it'll run
through
it
the
all the
gears.
way up to max RPM before it makes a shift.
Gotcha. Okay.
The only other fanciness about it is it's counting down how long to hold gear number 3 on before it shifts to number 4. So there's, every time we put a reman tranny in, we have to reset unadapted shifts in it. So we go in with the computer and we reset the computer back to ground 0. Otherwise, what happens, you put a new tranny in something and the computer is used to shifting the old one, it'll maybe hold a clutch in longer than it should, and you got 2 clutches trying to engage at the same time.
Right, right. I'm going to. So you kind of get too high,
Falling down in part.
and then you have to kind of drop down in. But once you're in here, oh boy. Suppose this is an air seat,
Yes, it is.
so it does raise up some. I don't need to be like the old Peterbilt high school kids, you know, driving into the elevator down here like this.
Well, we can maybe put the shift knob up high so you
There
can
you
shift
go.
it
Right.
like that.
And who knows if, let's see, there should be some hydraulics to run, like, oh, this probably is right here. So this,
That's what runs the drum. It's just on off, and that left knob.
and this though probably runs my
So
spout.
that's your left and right and forward end, and that's run off the power steering pump. So that's separate from the hydrostat.
Oh, it
so
is.
That thing worked the whole time, all the way home.
And then we talked about maybe having this, if incorporating maybe just the joystick for like to unload your wagon. You know, we don't know if that makes any sense or not till you get in. She's alive! So I got my joystick here, I can run my spout up there. Which, like we say, we don't know if we're gonna use that. And then my mixer, if I push this button, now my mixer turns on. Which we're doing this just for fun because none of this crap is gonna be on here. We're just showing you that it does work as a cement truck.
Got the gas pedal a little bit.
Pretty low idle. She purrs right along.
Now look at that.
Oh, I got the mixers. I got the mixer running, I guess. I wouldn't make a very good cement truck driver. I'd be making a mess.
So this has an RE control. So manual lever is a backup plan. An RE control has 3 solenoid coils. You got a forward and a reverse, and then an on-off. So they call that a start-stop valve. That's what the red button did.
That's all I was doing was flipping the solenoid
You were flipping
there.
the start-stop. It's in a fixed position based upon where this was last cycled at.
That's why when we started it,
I was already in a fixed
going.
position.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I turned the key, I probably could have clicked that red button and
And it wouldn't have started the mixer.
I could have sent signal back to here to
Yep.
stop fluid. So we don't know if this is going to work, or if we don't know if we want to use this pump.
It's a speed thing.
Yeah.
It comes down to how fast that mixer is going to turn.
Right.
And I can calculate that based upon the fact I know what this pump is and I know which motor I'm going to use. I can tell you how fast that screw is going to turn. I haven't sat and taken the time to do that.
No.
It'd take me 5 minutes to figure it out. What I don't know is the ratio on their planetary, which I can guess, and that might be a Greg Luth question.
Yeah. We got ourselves some hats from Chris, Maxville Truck and Repair. We are gonna be, we gotta go say goodbye to Ted. He was a actual fan. He was a follower before we even started with Chris. So that was pretty wild, but let's cruise out back.
Well,
You
first
take the picture.
I'm just videoing you guys. Say a little bit here for
Just take our
Matt.
picture.
You're gonna stand on it. This is gonna
This
put
is
us.
not how videos work. You don't stand here and just look like a bunch of goons. Now take the
Dane always
picture.
edits out the bad stuff that I do.
We'll turn the camera back on her.
Here we have the beginnings of deconstruction of a front load cement truck so we can put a TMR mixer on it. We're gonna start by torching off the pieces up in the front, and then we're pulling bolts from the drum itself to disconnect it from the planetary. We're gonna weld lifting eyes onto the tank and then roll the tank to the correct location. Put chains pretty much right about here and lift up and hopefully turn sideways and the drum comes right off. I'm sure it's gonna go just smooth as silk like everything else does on a daily basis. Once we're done with that, we're gonna disconnect the drive shaft so the hydraulics are no longer active. There's a hydraulic pump from the original cement. And then we're going to remove the pedestal bracket right here for the rear mount. We're going to remove the water tank, move the original air tank to a different location, remove the front pedestal, and then cut stuff off above the cab, leaving this pedestal in place so we still have some place for the mirrors to be. That's the beginning of the deconstruction of this front load cement mixer. Good morning. Here's a little bit of our progress on the TMR operation. Kind of tough to hear me talk because it's pretty loud, but this is part of the sandblasting that we do. Very, very dangerous operation. Once again, very dangerous. I don't want to get real close or I'll get my eyeballs all full of sand. Lord knows we don't want that. All right, doing a little testing here on the LED location placement. Checking the bottom, just trying to figure out if that's going to be the correct spot based upon the intended purpose. Here we go, backing her out for paint. Pretty crude looking. Gonna be fun.